We're live. Oh, we're live? Okay. Hey, everyone. It's Ellie.
And Tara.
And welcome. We are doing like a little, I guess, pre-show?
Yeah.
Pre-show clip?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what was that? Did you hear that? We're live. Oh, we're live? I'm hearing a playback on what we're doing. Okay. Well, yeah, so we're just going to do quick reaction videos right now, and I guess just talking about some current events before we head into our main event, our regular podcast episode. So I think at 8:30 we're going to be starting our episode, but right now we're just going to react and do share some of our own opinions.
Absolutely. And if you're tuning in with us and you've been here before, welcome, and make sure to go to our page and subscribe if you haven't already, if you're new with us. And so, we wanted to start off with some big news today. Kamala Harris picked her VP, Tim Waz, I want to say.
Don't ask me, I don't know how to pronounce it.
He despite his moderate seeming surface, we have some clips here that show really where he stands on things. So check this out.
Make the case, and for one thing, don't ever shy away from our progressive values. One person's socialism is another person's neighborliness.
Okay,
but we can get out there, reach out.
So immediately off the bat, he's pro-socialist.
Right. So. I did see that one of the posts that one of my lefty friends posted was that listed him as a progressive. So I'm not sure really why he's being called a moderate when a lot of people on the left are calling him very progressive. Yeah. And I know we have another clip talking about some other stuff with him, but he's a very interesting person. I haven't actually heard of him before this, actually.
I love what your friend said, though. Can you tell us what your friend said about this, man?
My friend texted me because I don't know if anybody has been seeing our story, but on our story, we announced that he did get picked, and then we asked you guys in the comments, like, what was your opinion on this?
And one of them was so funny.
She said, it's giving old white man. And that's what she said. Hold on. Let me pull up what she was saying.
Well, the thing about him too is from a distance he looks like Biden. So it just looks like she replaced Biden.
She said, I want to say it's giving old white man replacement.
Replacement. That was the word that was so funny for him. Because it's true. It's like, but they've switched places.
Well, I would think that she would pick somebody more of fitting of DEI standards, more a person of color.
Or a woman.
Yeah, but instead they picked a old man.
Now, just some background about this old white man. I'm sorry. That was so...
We're just using what my friend said, okay?
Yeah, we're just referencing that. No,
Another Gen Zer who's 18.
No, it's so funny because someone would be like, well, what about Trump? No, anyway, okay, so Tim Waz, so he was a school teacher and he got involved in politics later in life. He became the Minnesota governor and he did some very progressive things. He pushed a lot for Roe v. Wade, and he did stuff like, affirm trans identifying people by putting feminine products in boys' bathrooms and that kind of stuff. And you hear mixed results on that, but at the end of the day, I think a lot of Christians are to a point where any of that is just kind of disturbing because of the backlash that we've seen in the detransitioner movement.
You know what? I've also think that not even just Christians, a lot of regular people have been saying the same thing.
I don't know. I've seen a mix because I've seen a backlash on do not attack trans people. Okay. Stop attacking trans people, which I understand. I have trans friends. I don't want them to get hurt or anything like that. But it's like also, who are you going to sacrifice here? The child or the adult trans identifying person? Or the child who might be suffering from confusion, or the child who's not suffering from confusion and trying to live out a normal, regular childhood. Yeah. So we're seeing where their priorities stand.
Why don't we watch a clip where Kamala talks about that?
Yes, so we have another clip. I'm going to go to minute 54. This was the Philadelphia rally today where she introduced Tim Waz. And I want to also point out that she a female is in a position of power while a man is behind her, standing behind her, kind of being that role that you usually see, like the president and then the first lady behind him. So, you know what I mean? Like, we're kind of seeing a different...
Like a switch?
Well, not really a switch, because, I mean, they've have rallies where there's the vice president behind them. But I think just you can see why a lot of the left really love this image, because it's the woman in power and the man is standing behind her. Yeah.
Okay.
So you see that, but also... It's just, I think it's the next logical thing that I'm seeing, especially since I see so many women just trying so hard to be men. And that was one thing that we talked about on our last podcast.
That's right. We did talk about that.
The effects of that and the consequences of that. But let's check out what they say here.
Reproductive freedom, and I will proudly sign it into law. Tim Walz has also defended the sacred freedom to vote. As governor, he signed the most significant expansion of voting rights in Minnesota in over 50 years. And with Governor Walz's help, when I am president, we are going to finally pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Act and the Freedom to Vote Act.
So it's Walz, I'm guessing.
I like Waz better. No, yeah, but it's obviously progression everywhere, right? You have voter ID laws where they're obviously, I'm assuming here, so you can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is about, not necessarily needing a driver's license to register to vote, right? Is that kind of...
I'm not sure. I haven't heard of that one.
Or just that in general of like vote expansion, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then obviously also an advocate for, the pro-abortion movement,
right?
That we see. I've seen a huge push for that lately. I even saw an ad where a girl was denied an abortion, the abortion saved her life. That's what it was. Girl. But what did you think about that, Ellie?
Yeah, I mean, that's very interesting. I know that she's obviously going to pick somebody who's as left as she is. So it's very interesting. Yeah, I definitely want to do some more research on him, figure out where he came from, because I honestly just don't know as much on him.
If you, the Brad Pack.
Sorry, we got some ads.
An ad. No, yeah, but it's pretty interesting, and just in the time and the current climate, I can see why people are saying that Kamala has a chance, because it's
that
like,
it looks like
it's just crazy to me, because like 5 minutes ago nobody liked her. Everybody agreed that she was annoying and unlikable.
Right. Everybody was making reels about how annoying she was,
her
making
cackle,
fun of everything.
yeah.
The one with the coconut tray,
the like
whatever.
on command black scent that she
right.
gets, like
so it's
all
like
that stuff.
There was a bunch of that stuff, and then now, like, people are suddenly accepting her, and it's very interesting. I've seen this sort of switch, because people absolutely hated Biden. They were like, I don't want this again. And now we're seeing them want to continue on with Kamala Harris.
Oh, not only that, but they seem to love her. They seem to be like, where have you been, Kamala Harris, all my life? Like, that's literally what it seems like to me. Like,
well, it definitely does seem like abortion is one of her top issues, right?
Abortion is her top, which is funny because it's like abortion is something that people talk about occasionally, like when it's relevant,
Right.
So, but it's always like a go-to, you know what I mean? It's like a go-to for people if they want to randomly bring up women's rights, which they seem completely irrelevant outside of those times when it's trending.
I think abortion is a very interesting issue to choose because it's a very emotional one for a lot of people. Because they feel like almost attacked with it, and other people know the damage it can do.
I think at the bottom line with abortion is it is not about the woman. It is solely about the child. And the minute that people start realizing that, then we will see a shift. But until then, we are going to see a firm entitlement to abortion and to reproductive rights. And they use euphemisms as freedom and rights like that. But it has nothing to do with freedom. It has nothing to do with rights. It's a poor decision makers' outlet to murdering their child, and people excuse it. And you live in a world where you're like, well, I hope one day they think it's wrong. Let's hear what this woman says.
The ban took effect. Jacksonville Dr. Shelley Tien rushed to see as many patients as
6 weeks is very, very early in pregnancy. It's 2 weeks past a missed period. Most women and girls don't even realize that they are pregnant.
Florida had been a refuge for patients seeking abortions in the South. Now the state joins 12 others in the region with total or near total bans. Starting today, the closest options for the procedure are North Carolina or Virginia.
It's a victory for babies. It's a victory for women.
State Republican House member Dean Black voted for the 6-week ban, which includes exceptions for rape, incest, fatal fetal abnormalities, and life of the mother.
We think we have a good law, a compassionate law, a moral law. It can serve as a guide for other states.
Today, Vice President Kamala Harris campaigned in Jacksonville, where she blamed former President Trump for the new law.
As of this morning, 4 million women in this state woke up with fewer reproductive freedoms than they had last night.
Trump of Florida.
Okay, so just stuff like that. They say freedom and rights, completely ignoring that the baby might have any freedom or rights, I mean, once you get to that 9-month mark, or once you actually conceive the baby, or you actually give birth to the baby, now that baby is a citizen. They have a social security card that gets sent to them. They have a birth certificate. They have rights. So there's, it just seems so illogical to me to completely ignore the fact that there's another human being involved in the decision of abortion. It's disturbing to me. And you've heard my testimony. It's just, it's heartbreaking to me, but obviously, it is a huge pull. So anyway, we're going to take about a 10-minute break now, but we're going to come back with some awesome guests. So we'll look forward to that, and you can tune in and